AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas. Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in her life.
Greg Gutfeld didn't just walk onto the political stage, he detonated onto it like a wildfire. Right in front of him, 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐿𝐽𝐿𝐿𝐽𝐼𝐻, the self-styled queen of viral clapbacks and social media drama. But here's the twist this time. She's the one staggering, not delivering the punches. Gutfeld dropped revelations that left reporters wide-eyed. While social media erupted, threads spun out of control, and the internet collectively gasped at the chaos unfolding in real time.
There is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack, except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this. The Republican caucus threatened my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of—
What Gutfeld unleashed wasn't a typical political critique. It was a full-scale comedic demolition wrapped in a political shell. Every jab landed with the precision of a master performer stealing the spotlight. AOC thrives on her image as the self-made heroine of Congress. No cape required, but Instagram filters always locked and loaded. Gutfeld's humor didn't just sting, it sparkled, turning her theatrical antics into viral entertainment that kept audiences laughing, shaking their heads, and completely hooked with every punchy line.
Gets along with Bernie is because she's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like, I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1983. So their problem is, and the reason why they don't have any ideas is they operate on half opinions. Like, what if we get rid of cash bail? Oh, let's do it. What happens? You have repeat criminals wreaking havoc. What if we have sanctuary cities? Hey, let's do it. What happens? You have rapists and killers, finding sanctuary, safe haven.
AOC fires off sweeping promises like a whirlwind: save the planet, end poverty, crush inequality, maybe even teach your hamster yoga before brunch ends. She stacks them like a magician, tossing endless tricks from a hat. But then Gutfeld steps in with a sly grin, cutting right through the spectacle. For him, this isn't leadership, it's amateur theatrics under the spotlight. And the real knockout, he storms the stage, delivering a mic drop moment that exposes her crusade as more performance than governance, spinning out of control in real time.
I love how she explains it. They're not meant for you, right? But then you have to ask, okay, then what is this debt forgiveness? Who is it meant for? And when you look at the data, it's upper, white, middle class, liberal women. This ain't welfare, right? These are well-to-do people. It's a bribe for Democrats on the backs of plumbers, truckers, and everyone else who actually does a real job, unlike me. AOC is the symbol of the entitled sponge. She complains about student loans, but she owns a Tesla.
The predictability is almost shocking. AOC charges in, casting herself as the fearless warrior of the working class, parading rooftop gardens, free giveaways, and a shiny revolution for anyone willing to listen. Greg Gutfeld appears, not as a boring policy analyst, but as the razor-sharp uncle at Thanksgiving, who never lets a bold claim slide without a merciless punchline. His timing is precise, his wit cuts deep, and in seconds, her supposedly serious crusade collapses into perfect material for another viral roast.
Think about what their ideas incentivize. That would be nice. So where are their ideas going to come from? Trump. The only way they're going to create a message is based on whatever Trump does. So I have some slogans for the Democrat Party.
Oh, wow.
The Democrat Party, when you're tired of success.
Okay.
The Democrat Party, make America suck again. Democrat Party, the first choice for illegals, vandals, and dead people.
Gutfeld doesn't drown her in dry statistics or endless graphs. Instead, he grabs AOC's glitter-coated speeches, twists them like carnival illusions, and hurls them into the fire of comedy. Her billion-dollar ambitions suddenly feel more like a teenager unleashed with a maxed-out credit card at the mall. But the sting goes deeper than humor. It's exposure. He lifts the curtain to show contradictions, railing against capitalism while sipping overpriced overpriced kombucha, sporting $200 hoodies, and live streaming like a polished influencer. Her biggest victories aren't in Congress. They're on TikTok and Instagram with ring lights glowing and fans cheering like she's headlining Coachella.
She owns a French bulldog. Thanks to Cat Temp, I know everything about French bulldogs. And one thing I know,
I got a French bulldog.
They are so expensive. They're more expensive than any college tuition. That you got to take care of them. They're adorable dogs. But she owns a Tesla and she owns a French bulldog, and she wants you or your dad, the electrician, to forgive her student loan. That's BS. Turn in the Tesla. Sell the dog. I'll buy it half.
And then come the receipts. Greg stacked them sky high, focusing on her prized creation, the Green New Deal. He rips it apart not as a serious plan, but as a glitter-smeared vision board that feels ripped straight from a teenager's diary. Free healthcare, free college, guaranteed jobs, maybe even free puppies. It all sounds magical until the brutal question lands. Who's paying for this? AOC gestures toward billionaires as if they're an endless buffet, but Greg's grin reminds everyone that math doesn't vanish on command. Her paradise wobbles, slogans shine, but the foundation shakes like a wobbly IKEA shelf. Conservatives cheer, progressives scramble, and the internet turns it all into comedy gold.
Meantime, AOC has taken a break from doing nothing to get into a beef with the Twitter chief. On Tuesday, she tweeted, LMAO at a billionaire earnestly trying to sell people on the idea that free speech is actually an $8 a month subscription plan. That's a reference to Musk's plan to charge people $8 a month for verified blue checkmark status. But he hit back tweeting, your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8. To be fair,
At the center of the chaos, viewers can't stop laughing. Greg versus AOC is funnier than most Netflix comedies, yet underneath the laughter is a sharp edge, comedy as truth. Greg exposes her big ideas as glittery on Twitter, but fragile in real life. He asks the question no one else dares. Is this Congress or just a TikTok influencer house? Modern politics has become theater, and AOC plays the influencer stacking hashtags and live streams while Gutfeld turns the spectacle into a savage roast audiences can't look away from.
to be fair, she'd love to spend the $8, but she already bought a Tesla. He also tweeted a photo of some ugly AOC merch she's trying to hawk for $58. Overpriced merch, AOC. Seems pretty capitalistic of you, which according to you makes you evil. And according to anyone paying attention, also makes you full.
When Greg tears apart her economic math, her polished working-class warrior image, and her Instagram activism, it's more than jokes. It's a reality check. Every clapback from AOC fuels the fire instead of dousing it. Sometimes she doubles down, other times she shields herself with moral outrage, but each reaction only makes Gutfeld's punchlines hit harder. She talks, he roasts, she responds, he roasts again. A non-stop political ping-pong the public can't stop watching. At its core, Greg reminds everyone, politics isn't hashtags, it's results. If you can't explain who pays for your vision, maybe it's not a dream. It's just another viral tweet masquerading as policy.
I mean, first of all, $80 per theater. I mean, I made $80 in a theater and there wasn't even a movie playing.
Wow. What do you mean?
I don't know. You know, it's no surprise. Who would go see a movie that's the opposite of entertaining? There's nothing entertaining about that. Michael Moore's colonoscopy is more entertaining than that because there's probably more twists. But it does show you how great it is to be a progressive in a liberal biased culture. She really doesn't do her job, right? She makes movies, she goes to galas, she sits for glossy butt-kissing interviews in GQ and other women's mags.
Greg's roasts hit like body shots. They're funny, yes, but also revealing. His punchlines slice through her Instagram theater, cracking open the glossy shell of her carefully crafted image. AOC may still sparkle, thriving on attention, love, or outrage. But once the mask slips, the audience sees what's underneath. It's not just one clever jab. It's the slow peeling away of the illusion. Gutfeld exposes the raw, unfiltered version hiding beneath the brand. Her influence relies more on performance than policy, transforming the spectacle into a mix of comedy and cautionary tale.
It is funny. That's mean. You're
right,
mean. You're being mean.
But I'm fascinated they thought there was an audience for this outside of like Earth Justice or the Justice Democrats, because who really wanted to go and see this thing? And then tomorrow you'll have an article that we'll have to talk about, which is that kids all over America are having nightmares about climate change. Well, no wonder.
Jessica, what about the fact that the climate activists are very much, they're very much enthused about what they do?
Just when it seems the fire has died down, AOC reappears on 60 Minutes and round 2 begins. Politics becomes a non-stop sitcom. AOC as climate warrior and working class hero, Greg as relentless critic. The Green New Deal becomes Marvel-level theatrics with snap-your-finger solutions for planes, carbon, and American homes. Every promise is a punchline waiting to happen, and Gutfeld doesn't miss a beat. Politics feels less like governance and more like taxpayer-funded improv comedy.
AOC was on 60 Minutes last night. Quite a feat for a newcomer. Must be all her great new ideas.
People are going to have to start paying their fair share in taxes. Once you get to like the tippy tops, on your $10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%.
What an expression. Now, the real story isn't AOC's very old ideas. It's the media's gushy view of her. Even with her old ideas, she gets on 60 Minutes. The past is called the future, and you better love it.
Greg doesn't argue like a boring policy analyst. He mocks her sweeping promises with late-night precision. Who's paying for this? Her plans read more like a Kickstarter campaign with stretch goals like ending poverty and handing out unicorns. He jokes her budget looks like a cocktail napkin scribble after happy hour or a toddler's crayon drawing. The punchlines stick, spreading like wildfire. While fans cheer and defend, Greg smirks, turning serious proposals into primetime comedy fuel, leaving media scrambling to label him cruel while the internet laughs uncontrollably.
His delightful dancing video from last week, the media created a fake story that conservatives attacked her over this delightful trifle. Not really. In fact, the only stories written about the dance were by liberals using it to falsely smear the right. So the press creates a shield around her in which any criticism must be due to sexism or bigotry, when in fact it's in their heads and not ours. But this strategy works by preventing
conservatives can't get enough plastering his zingers across headlines and bumper stickers. The rest of us watch a bizarre buddy comedy. One-star activist influencer, one sharp-tongued late-night uncle together, they create a spectacle more entertaining than most of Netflix. Beneath the humor is a lesson. Attention doesn't equal governance. Slogans don't pass laws, likes don't balance budgets, and viral moments aren't results. Greg reminds everyone that digital fame doesn't automatically make someone a legislative heavyweight.
YouGov poll says AOC has 61% approval rating for Democrats, right? The highest of any Democrat unless they've been elected president. So if your new brand ambassador is going to be AOC, then I think it's more than just the messaging and the brand.
So by now you heard that AOC, among others, were arrested last night. She truly is an American hero. It was brutal, taken out in cuffs. Well, technically, her shirt had cuffs. Maybe French cuffs, as she did surrender without fight.
AOC never stops performing, and Greg never stops roasting. Every new rant, proposal, or viral stunt is another episode of Comedy Gold. Politics is now a non-stop stage. The mic never cuts off, punchlines never dull, and the spectacle never ends. She fuels the content, he delivers the heat, and the audience sits back, snacks in hand, watching the chaos unfold. This saga isn't over. If AOC is politics influencer-in-chief, Greg Gutfeld is the relentless heckler who won't leave the stage. And in Washington's non-stop comedy club, the show goes on forever. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Greg Gutfeld versus AOC showdown and want more unfiltered, up-to-the-minute political commentary and breaking news, don't forget to subscribe to Jacob Reports, hit that notification bell, and stay ahead of the story. We bring you the truth, the chaos, and the laughs you won't see anywhere else.